Most people think discipline is about motivation. It isn't. Motivation is loud, emotional, and unreliable. The scariest level of discipline is silent. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't complain. It doesn't need validation. It shows up when no one is watching, when comfort is available, and still chooses the hard path, every single time. This is the kind of discipline that terrifies average minds, because it removes excuses. It removes weakness. It removes the illusion that life is unfair. When you reach this level, emotions no longer control you. Pain becomes a tool, boredom becomes irrelevant, and comfort loses its power over your decisions. Today, you're not going to hear about discipline that looks good on social media. You're about to see the kind of discipline that rewires your identity and makes everything else fall in line. Number 1. Discipline that operates without emotion. The scariest level of discipline begins when emotions are no longer consulted. Most people ask themselves, "How do I feel today?" before acting. The disciplined individual asks only one question: what must be done? Feelings become background noise, not commands. Fatigue, fear, boredom, and doubt may appear, but they no longer have voting rights. This level of discipline doesn't wait for confidence or motivation. It moves regardless of internal weather. When emotions lose authority, consistency becomes inevitable, and consistency over time becomes dominance. This is frightening to people who rely on moods to justify their failures, because it exposes the truth. You were never stuck, you were just emotionally undisciplined. Number 2. Ruthless consistency on boring days. Anyone can be disciplined when they're inspired. The terrifying ones are disciplined when nothing feels rewarding. No dopamine, no applause, no visible progress, just repetition. This is where most people break, because boredom reveals who actually has control over themselves. Ruthless consistency means showing up when the mind screams for novelty and the body begs for rest. You don't chase excitement, you honor the process. Over time, this compounds into an unshakable edge. Others burn out chasing motivation. You advance quietly through monotony. That's why this level of discipline feels inhuman. It thrives where most people psychologically collapse. Number 3. Self-control. That feels almost cold. At this level, discipline looks emotionally distant. You don't overreact. You don't explain yourself. You don't chase validation or lash out when disrespected. You respond slowly, strategically, or not at all. People mistake this calm for weakness until they realize it's restraint. True discipline is not explosive. It's controlled pressure. You don't need to prove anything because your actions are already aligned. This cold self-control is unsettling because it removes predictability. People can't manipulate you with guilt, anger, or praise. You're governed by principle, not impulse, and that makes you dangerous in a world addicted to emotional chaos. Number 4. Private standards, higher than public expectations. The scariest discipline is invisible. No posts, no announcements, no motivational quotes. You hold yourself to standards no one else knows about. While others perform discipline for approval, you practice it in isolation. You don't need witnesses to do what's right. This creates an internal authority that can't be shaken by criticism or praise. When your self-respect depends on your own code, not external feedback, you become untouchable. This is why disciplined individuals seem unbothered by opinions. Their validation system is internal, and when no one can control your standards, no one can control you. Number 5. Long-term thinking that kills short-term pleasure. This level of discipline sacrifices comfort today to dominate tomorrow. You delay gratification so consistently that temptation starts losing its appeal. Cheap pleasure begins to feel like a threat, not a reward. You don't indulge impulsively because you see consequences clearly, while others see only relief. This future-oriented mindset is terrifying because it turns patience into a weapon. While others consume, you build. While others escape discomfort, you use it to grow stronger. Over time, the gap widens so much it looks like destiny, when in reality, it was discipline compounded. Number 6. Discipline that survives failure and pain. Weak discipline works only when things go well. The scariest discipline survives humiliation, loss, rejection, and exhaustion. When plans collapse, you don't spiral, you adapt. When you fail, you don't quit, you recalibrate. Pain doesn't make you emotional, it makes you precise. This resilience is disturbing because it removes the final excuse people cling to. I tried, and it didn't work. At this level, failure is data, not a verdict. You keep moving forward with fewer illusions and sharper focus. And nothing is more intimidating than someone who cannot be discouraged. Number 7. Identity-level discipline. This is the final form. You no longer try to be disciplined. You are disciplined. It's embedded in how you think, decide, and live. There is no internal debate, no constant self-negotiation. Discipline becomes automatic because your identity demands it. You don't ask if you'll do the work, you already know the answer. This level terrifies people because it eliminates chaos. It eliminates excuses. It eliminates randomness. When discipline becomes identity, success stops being a goal and starts being a side effect. Understand this. Discipline is not something you practice once and forget. It is something you become. The scariest level of discipline isn't loud, flashy, or admired. It's quiet, relentless, uncompromising. It shows up when you're tired, when no one is watching, and when quitting would be easy. Especially then. Most people will never reach this level because it demands the death of excuses, the sacrifice of comfort, and the courage to stand alone. But if you've listened carefully, you already know the truth. Your life doesn't change when circumstances change. It changes when you do. So ask yourself this: will you return to comfort and stay predictable? Or will you choose discipline and become unstoppable? Because once discipline becomes your identity, nothing can stop you. Not emotions, not setbacks, not time itself. This is where excuses end. This is where discipline begins.